This is something I fear and I've never really talked about, but like you're in these moments, you're in these special things that happen in your life. I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about what's next. And then you look back and you're like, I didn't really enjoy that moment.
Staples helps small businesses print big. The print advisors at Staples sweat the details and quality of every project. That's what they call their Print Big promise. They're committed to getting your print job right every time, to treating your small business like a big deal and making it come to life, and to giving you expert guidance from start to finish. And now get 20% off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more at Staples. Offer ends January 1st.
You coming to bed, hon?
Yep, honey, I'll be right there. Just gotta turn out the light. Ow! 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 Ah! Ah!
Some things never change. Like your kids always leaving tiny toys on the floor for you to step on. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Sweetie, I think I left the downstairs light on.
Please don't make me go.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Breanne Davis-Gant. Today I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves and others. You know, those deep, dark secrets you probably want to go to your grave with, or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing. Really the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. Today, my guest is Justin. Now, Justin, I have a huge question for you. Dun, dun, dun. What is your secret?
It's not so, I don't know. I feel like my secret sucks now.
Is that your secret, that it sucks?
My secret is that it sucks. My secret isn't that much of a secret. It's more, I guess it is a secret because I never really talk about it, but I think it's not singular to me either. I think this is something, I hope so. I think so, that other people deal with as well. So my secret is I'm afraid of time.
Okay, that can mean so many things. Can you tell me what you mean you're afraid of time?
Yeah, so that's how it is. It's kind of maybe it is a good secret because it's so.
Yeah, I've actually never heard anyone have this secret, and I hear a lot of secrets. So I'm excited. Tell me what, being afraid of time means for you.
Okay, so being afraid of time is we all have a certain amount of time, obviously, and we don't know when that time is up. And I think maybe it's been magnified more in the last few months because time became such a thing for all of us around the entire world. So it's that I'm going to run out and not have done everything I wanted to do. So then it also circles back to, it's like a complicated, I guess, secret or fear, because then it circles back to what am I doing today that's, like make every moment count. Because maybe today I'm not doing what I need to do to accomplish these things before I run out of time. And it's not like, it's not necessarily just career based. It's not necessarily like I want to travel. It's like, it's many different layers of things. As you start to get older, you start to think like sports and things that when you were a kid, you just took for granted. Mm-hmm. But you start to wonder like, how much longer am I going to be able to do this? And how much longer am I going to be able to do this at the level that I do it now? And is it going to start to go away from me? And then I won't enjoy it as more. And then I'll be mad because when I was younger, I didn't do it as much. So there's that. Mm-hmm. And then there is the career thing, which I think, in entertainment, and I'm sure you know this as well. Obviously, it's like, you start to feel like, am I accomplishing what I want to accomplish by this age? Because when I get to this other age, am I still going to be able to do this or that?
No, as a woman in Hollywood, I never feel that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a whole other layer to it. But I don't know, with today's CG and what they can do, like, I don't know. I feel like some actors and actresses, they'll be in their 80s playing like 20-year-olds probably, because they'll just be like,
That's so scary. That's like so scary to me. The whole technology is even taking our time. Does that make sense?
No, you're right. Well, that's the other thing. So then so for instance, and again, I don't think this is singular to myself, but at night I'm going to watch something. I really want to watch the series,
Right.
and then next thing you know, it's like midnight and I just have been scrolling on social media and been like, yeah, I'm like,
the
okay,
deadly scroll.
yeah, the deadly scroll. Now I just wasted this evening. So, I think I'm trying to be more present, and I'm also trying to learn to live more in the moment. And this also, I'm sure you can identify with this as well, is that this is something I fear and I've never really talked about, but like you're in these things, you're in these moments, you're in these special things that happen in your life. I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about what's next. And then you look back and you're like, I didn't really enjoy that moment.
Oh, that's happened to me so many times, especially with my career. I'll be like shooting something or doing something, and I'll be thinking about the next job or the next thing, or even traveling, like, oh, I'll do this next, instead of just being in the moment.
Yeah. And I think that's part of what we do in being in entertainment and that's what kind of keeps you going, because you don't necessarily just sit in that moment. You're always like, okay, this is great, but what's next?
Yeah, but I think that's horrible.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like a curse.
It is a curse. You're like never satisfied where you are. So my job the last couple of years is just be. I have it tattooed on my foot, like just be where you are at that moment.
See, that's brilliant. And that's what I'm trying to aspire to be more in the moment and recognize moments when I'm there and go, okay, I need to sit in this moment for a minute before I just go on to like, okay, great, what's next? I actually discovered this on another podcast I did a couple weeks ago. I was talking to them about this, and this is sort of where it went with, they're asking me like, oh, how did it feel to premiere your movie? Like, I didn't care that it was the premiere. I didn't care that I just shot this or whatever. Like, it just kind of felt like, great, okay, cool. What am I doing next? And I never like they thought that was weird. Yeah. And I'm sure you've done this. You just said that. I'm sure you've done that. I'm sure you've done.
It's
things.
A curse.
Yeah, it is.
As an addict, it was 10 times even worse, because I was never just authentically in a moment. My head was in the future or in the past, and never just present.
Yeah. So that's sort of my time fear is not getting done what I want to get done. And that's, across the board of so many different things. And then also my fear, going, man, I really wish I would have enjoyed that moment. Or even the bad moments, like being able to like sit in them and like learn from them instead of sitting in it and like going, okay, what can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again? Or,
learn from it? Yeah, exactly. But I understand your fear of the time. And like when you just said before, you said talking about not being in the moment and then what's next. And then you also said something at the beginning that was so fascinating, because like tomorrow, if you're going to die, am I doing today what I should be doing? But then it's like, does that never give you a chance to relax?
Yeah, that's the other part of it. You're right. That's the other part of it. Like, it's everything from like diet, like, it's that balance of I'm going to eat healthy, but I'm also not going to like not enjoy certain foods, because what if I get hit by a truck? And then I'd be so mad, because I don't know if you have, but I've almost died several times. And when it happens, like it's never the thought I would think would go through my head. Like, it's more like one time I almost drowned when I was a kid. I grew up in Florida. I grew up surfing, and I was trying out for this surf shop surf team. And it was like this big winter north, like what waves. And it was really like the ocean was just like victory at sea. It was a mess. Mm-hmm. And I fell, and my surfboard leash got tied around my neck. And so my board's buoyed at the surface, and I'm underwater. And because of the tension, because you have tension, because it's like, it's being hung underwater. So I can't get it off because I can't get up because there's so much turbulence. And the thing that went through my head that kept me alive was I was like, I'm not going to die because this will be so embarrassing. And my fear of being embarrassed of like, oh great, how did surf tryouts go for Justin? Oh, he drowned. So clearly he didn't make the team. No. So I literally forced myself, because I did not want to like have to be embarrassed, even though I wouldn't be embarrassed because I'd be dead. But like, I just felt that was so embarrassing. So yeah, well, I think that's another fear. And And I think, and a secret actually, this is a good secret but I feel like it's a secret everyone has, but no one speaks about. And I think hopefully this is coming more into the light, with, like mental health and stuff, because, everyone goes through dark times in their brain, and your brain can take on its own power and start to like tell you things, and drive your fears. And sometimes it's really hard to control.
Yeah. And doing negative fantasies is almost addicting in itself.
It is. Yeah. People really go down those road. And I know people that have will create negative fantasies and then literally believe them. They become so believable to themselves, and then it becomes very detrimental to their real life. So, I mean, I think we all probably know somebody like that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, definitely the time thing, because the more you start, again, I think it's a balance of figuring out how not to let it affect you enough, but also use it to drive you to not just waste time.
Yeah. But here's my question for you. Can you remember back to the time when this started? Your fear of losing the time or the time running out? Did it start a long time ago or just recently?
It's a good question. I think it was more recent. I think when I was younger, you just kind of take things for granted in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's just normal, obviously. You just think, that's why 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids skateboarding and stuff are so, snowboarding and dirt biking and stuff are so good, because they don't think they can die. There's no fear. You just don't think, you think you're invincible. It doesn't creep into your mind. So I think it didn't happen till, I guess more recently. And I think it's more also been gradual. But yeah, it's of course, the older you get, then, you're running out of time, because time is all you have, really.
Yeah. I think you get to a certain age and you're like, oh, wait, I'm not on this planet much longer.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, no one knows how long they're on at all, but
yeah, I know. That's like me thinking we have control. I'm like, I'm going to die at the age of,
yeah,
but we have no control over anything.
Yeah. So part of the fear is being really old. So, and not old oh, this sucks, I'm old, but being old and then being alive. But then I also fear okay, what if I still want to do the things that I've always done, but I just mentally and physically can't. So, and that's a fear. I don't know. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think about what it's going to be like when you're in your 70s? What do you do all day? How do you, I don't know. I guess your body and mind adapt, but I kind of fear that as well.
Cancer. So many lives are touched by cancer. In fact, 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer. At the American Cancer Society, we're on a mission to free the world from cancer. It's a big mission, driven by little things like a ride to treatment, a free place to stay, a 24/7 helpline. But these little things are really the big things, because to a cancer patient and their family, they're everything. And every day we reach thousands of cancer patients who so desperately need these services. But we need your help to get these critical services to more people and families in need this holiday season. Go to cancer.org and join the fight against cancer. It takes just minutes to donate and help provide essential support to cancer patients and their families. Don't wait. More than 1 in 3 people will be diagnosed with cancer. Go to cancer.org right now and make a difference. Go to cancer.org.
I think in the last few months, it's become more apparent because we've had so much time during lockdown and quarantine, and that, days sort of just started to run into each other. There was all the joke memes of it doesn't even, you don't even know if is it Saturday, Wednesday, whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. There was a time where I didn't really even know what day of the week it was, because it really didn't matter. Saturday and Monday were no different. It was the same day.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I guess while you're saying it, that's what I'm thinking. It probably has been amplified. Do you feel like this pandemic, do you feel like it's taken a lot of your life away from you, or the things you've wanted to do?
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think that's singular to me. I think that's across the board I tell everyone, because I think everyone goes through bad days and good days during this. And, sometimes people think that, oh, these people are having such a great time and their life is so great. And I'm like, I guarantee you some of those people are having bad days as well. And it's sort of this feeling of, yeah, definitely, it's amplified during this time, because so much has been taken away from so many different people, and things that we never thought would be taken away. I mean, like eating in a restaurant, like the simplest of pleasures. And in a way, I think it's good in a way, because we've all learned like how much stuff we all took for granted just because, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just, we just never thought, so, I always try to find the good in things. And I think there'll definitely be good coming out of this, things like that. Cause like going to a movie again will seem like such an experience. Whereas before it was like, oh, let's just go to a movie, or going out to, eating in a restaurant, or not having to wear a mask in a grocery store, and sanitize your hands and worry about like, uh-oh, I got my car and I touched my keys before I put my hand sanitizer on. Am I going to die?
Yeah. But here's my other question I have for you. I believe that this time is going to be a lot of growth for humanity. Hopefully, that's what I'm leaning on. Do you feel like this fear of time, even though it's been amplified, now you're actually looking at it and kind of learning from it instead of just like on to the next?
Yeah, I kind of I'm glad in a way. And every morning I wake up and I in my head, I repeat this thing, like no wasted days, like no wasted time. Like, and I just like look at the day and I go, okay, I'm at least going to do one thing today that I will remember, and that I will be like, I did that, whether it be like, like accomplishing something career wise, even if it's the most minute detail of like, I sent an email, to this person, and I reached out and set up a meeting, like, okay, I can at least feel good that I did that. And I'm sure I was doing that before, but I just wasn't so conscious of it. Or it can be, I'm going to go surfing or fishing or something, that I will enjoy. And I'm going to make sure I'm in the moment when I'm doing that I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So just sort of like, so I think it's a good thing in a way. And I'm glad that I've sort of realized that this is something that's been in my brain.
I completely agree. But I also want to ask these kind of secrets, this fear of time, of losing, am I getting older? I like to attach them to the 7 deadly sins, not in a religious sense, more in a character defect sense. So let me name them for you and let me know if any of these attach to this fear. So we got pride, greed, lust, gluttony, envy, anger, and sloth.
Yeah, I mean, definitely sloth, right? And it could be pride as well, because, that's part of it, is like, there's definitely like a pride to being able to accomplish things and to be able to do things at a certain level.
Do you think in it more in an ego sense, or?
Yeah, a little bit, I bet. Like, of course, everyone's going to say they don't have a huge ego. I don't think I have a huge ego, but I definitely, I definitely take pride in things, and I definitely like enjoy I enjoy entertaining people. I think that's why I even chose this, this career path or whatever. Like, I actually legit enjoy like making something for someone, even if it's like a sandwich or whatever, or like showing. And I've always loved showing people things, like places in the world, or like anything, like, hey, check out this new restaurant or whatever. Like, I always just love that. So, yeah, there's definitely like, but that to do that, I think you have to have some sort of like an ego to sense that like, why would anyone, and especially to be in entertainment, like I tell everyone, like, you have to have an ego to be entertainment. Like, it doesn't mean that you're an asshole or that you have some like giant view of yourself, but like to think that what you do, people want to watch,
or what you say, or what you
say,
create. Yeah.
So you have to, and it's just part of the game. Like, I say the same thing about like, people sometimes are like athletes. They'll be like, he seems like he's so focused on himself. I'm like, he has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be, because that's how they accomplish what they accomplished. It's part of who makes them who they am, or even like people that, like Prince, they'll be like, oh, I love this music. I wish he wasn't so weird. And I'm like, but you don't get one with the other, Yeah,
you have to have both. That's who he is.
That's why his music is good, because he was quote unquote weird. Like, if he was working at Geico selling insurance, I guarantee that music wouldn't be coming out of him. So,
what about, I keep looking at the word gluttony for some reason.
Yeah. I think that could be part of it.
Like, never enough for you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is never enough. And I'm trying to fix that as well, because I feel like, like when they were asking me on that podcast about like, like your premiere and, this accomplishment and that accomplishment, I'm just like, they're like, doesn't that make you feel great? And I'm always like, no, I don't ever even enjoy it, because I'm thinking about, okay, this is great, but cool, what's next? So that is a gluttonous sort of mentality to like just consume and like nothing's ever enough.
Yeah, I always think it's like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Okay, I'm doing this now. Like I always like, yeah, I feel great. Okay, on to the next.
Yeah. So definitely, yeah, that's definitely, I mean, gluttony, you think immediately that what comes to mind is food, but there's obviously other things you can be gluttonous about.
Yeah. And what do you think this fear of time benefits and who does it harm?
It's a great question. I think benefit, it could, well, it could benefit me because now that, once you become aware
Mm-hmm.
of something that is considered be a flaw, you have the opportunity to turn it into a strength. So I can use it to, make sure I'm on track, make sure I'm not wasting days and time. Um, and then who it would hurt, it could hurt me as well, but it could also hurt people around you as well, your friends, your family, because you're constantly on this quest, do as much as you can before time's out. And so
Yeah.
that some of that could, especially like, as as well now having children, like a lot of that could not include your children because you're trying to accomplish A, B, C in your career or just, yeah.
And you miss all those little moments that you're
Yeah.
not paying attention to.
Yep. The missing the moments is, I constantly am saying lately that everything is a trade-off. So, like if you want that fame and that fortune and that big lifestyle, like it's a trade-off. Like you're going to have to trade something off for it, and that's probably going to be some of your time and some of moments of life that normal people would enjoy that you're not going to get to enjoy. There's no thing that you can achieve without trading something for it.
Right. My last question for you is how are you going to move forward now that you do have this information, that you do know that like time is a fear of yours and not letting it control your life?
I am going to find the balance of, because a couple of days ago, I didn't really do much one day and I kind of got down on myself and I was like, why didn't I didn't do anything today. So, this is a waste that I'm not staying true. So I'm trying to find the balance of using it as motivation and using it as a positive, but not letting it consume me to the fact where like, if I feel like I watched a movie or a television show or a NBA basketball game, like that was a waste,
Yeah. Because it wasn't it's an experience that you were experiencing. You were looking at art. You were, but yeah. I know so many people that just said the same thing you said, that I wasted this day.
Yeah. I think especially now, because we sort of all wasted days because we were forced to, and I think, and also I didn't do this, but I know a lot of people, especially in this industry, were like, I'm going to use this time to do this and work on this and write a script. And like, a lot of people didn't. It was such a bizarre feeling for me, and I'm sure for others as well. It felt like you needed and you wanted and you needed to do all these things and you had all this time. But then in reality, you were like kind of gripped to like the news and like what was happening. So your mind was not in the place to do it.
Well, yeah. And I also feel like it was a global situation that no one has in this century has dealt with, and that there's a grieving that happens, and you have to allow that grieving and that pause to reflect and look at your life and think, okay, is this what I want to be doing? Who I want to be with? All those questions came up.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It was like a global grieving. That's a really great way to say it. Yeah. And I've seen, I haven't personally done, I've maybe done some tweaks, but I've seen people, and I kind of felt this in the beginning. It's like what you just said, like people, a lot of people just were like, it gave you like a moment to look at your life and go, okay, I totally need to re-up this. People have up and like changed their entire lives, their careers, where they live, everything. They're just like, I've seen a lot of people having babies. I saw Emma Roberts is having a baby. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So, I think a lot of change happened and is going to happen, but I don't think we noticed it as much while we were in it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your secret and your fear with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. And if you want to be on the show, please email me at secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.
What's better than Outback's limited time features? Enjoying them with your mates, obviously. There's bloomin' fried shrimp for Jessica. That is like so crispy. Espresso butter to spice up Henry's filet.
So bold, so juicy.
And a smoked cinnamon pecan old-fashioned that'll make Picky Pete's taste buds tingle.
I'd order another round.
At Outback, we've got something for everyone. So come in, relax and enjoy. Because good food is best with good mates. Come grab your table today at Outback Steakhouse.
It takes a lot of ingredients to fix or build a car, like cooking, but without the frozen dinner easy way out. eBay Motors has 122 million parts. It's always the right fitment, so you can follow any recipe to a T. Whether it's a vintage Italian coupe that's classic like Grandma's meatballs, or a German luxury car that's as complicated as Oma's rouladen, to cook up something great in the garage, use the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.